remember saying to myself, like, for so many years, I feel like fear drove me, throughout my life. And I want love to drive me now, not fear. And this is something that I love,
This is so amazing.
And somebody, if it's just one person, they might love it too. So let's share it.
We love it.
Since we're in the topic of fear, so how did you overcome the fear of
Overcome.
Yeah.
I feel like I still have not completely. It's still there.
Hey everyone, thank you guys so much for your continuous support and thank you for clicking this video. If you'd like to find more ways to support us, please visit our website at goodconvosonly.com where you'll be able to find our merch and all of our podcast episodes. Welcome back to Eat and Talk, everybody. I'm Yusra.
And I'm Gilbert, and we're back with another episode of Eat and Talk.
Today I have my wonderful, talented sister here, Aisha, who she says she's nervous, but it don't radiate from her. She's a poet, she's an artist, she's a huge creative in our community, mashallah, and I'm super happy that you're here today because I always say I need more sisters on my podcast, so thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of go into details about your book, Love Letters To, but before we do that, please introduce yourself to our viewers, and don't be humble. That's our tell. Tell us your name and, tell us, what you do and how you got into poetry.
Okay. Well, my name is Aisha. Currently a student. How I got into poetry is like a pretty long story, but
we got time, girl. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's good.
Keep talking.
But basically, my dad, he writes Somali gabe, so it's like essentially Somali poetry.
Okay.
And I really admired that. That's what really sparked my interest. And then after that, I just started reading other poetry in like different languages. So I would try to read poetry in like Arabic, Persian, Urdu, French, but translated because of course I don't know these languages.
I was
do you
about to say,
know these languages, girl? You talented. I know Arabic,
okay,
but I don't know like Persian.
I was like, teach me.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
It is, yeah.
And I really resonated with it. And I was like, yo, like I want to start doing this. So ever since, I would say I started writing in high school, like when I was a junior, essentially. I got into like spoken word first, and then after that, I kind of stopped that for a little bit, and I would just do like written poems. A lot of the times, I would find myself, like I always had like a book and a pen on me because I'm like, I don't know when the inspiration's gonna come.
Yeah.
And I would just document it,
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first poem that you wrote? Or what it was about, not necessarily the words.
My first poem, I was like 15, 16. It was about love. Yeah, it was about love.
Jael, that is like in our blood.
It was about love. Yeah. Now that I think back, I even remember the book I wrote it in. It was like a blue book.
Yeah.
You still have the book?
No, I lost it.
Dang.
I lost my first book too. I used to. I wasn't anything like you, but I lost my first poetry book too. I used to write poems too.
Recite something, please.
No, I'm not creative.
Recite
This I'm talking about like when I was 15, 16. No.
Do you have any pieces?
Oh my
that you
God.
remember?
I mean, I don't know. I used to just like write about just anything. I loved writing. I think I loved reading too, but I think I was more of a writer than reader. But that leads me to like my next, topic. Educate like our viewers about like why or how Gabay poetry was such an influence in our culture and how the importance of its art
In like Somali culture.
in the Somali culture.
I would say, first of all, our nickname is the Nation of Poets. And just reading, I feel like the first Somali poet I came across was Watson Shida. A lot of her pieces are in English.
She's amazing.
I love her.
I love her. If you guys don't know who Watson Shida is, please look her up.
Yeah, you're
Beyonce like included her.
She
y'all.
remember Beyonce.
Yes.
Yeah, it was it Lemonade?
Yeah, it was
Yes,
Lemonade. It was
Yes,
Lemonade.
it was
Yeah.
Lemonade. But she was one of the first Somali poets I came across, as well as Hadrawi. His is like hardcore Somali. So like I would either have like my dad translating it to me, or I would just read like some translations online because it was like, I don't know, an older dialect. Or
Shout out to your dad, though. It seems like you keep referring to your father.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's a big poetry man.
Wow,
so
okay.
and he's the one who influenced it, honestly.
That's amazing.
But yeah,
wow.
poetry is so powerful.
It is. Yeah. So you have been writing poetry, obviously, since like you were a kid and everything like that. Is writing a poetry book something that you had? And obviously, like, you've been writing poetry since you were a young person. Is this something that you thought would like establish into a career, or you would write a book someday?
Never. Like in the beginning, it was an outlet for me to kind of understand my feelings and my emotions, exploring, I don't know, questions I had in my mind, you know, and I would write it in a form of like a poem, right? And then I started sharing these pieces with some of my friends, and they'd be like, yo, this is so dope. You know, they'd be like, yo, this is so dope, you need to like share it on social media. And I was just like, and I remember that it was like, when did I start? Like 2018, I think. And that was like when Instagram poetry is a thing. So I was like, why don't I just do a bunch of Instagram dumps of my poetry? And it just kind of grew from there.
Dang, you were giving out free material on Instagram?
I didn't.
Because poetry is love. It's not a business. Like it's
it
art.
really is love.
Yeah,
it's art.
Yeah.
You know, and it's powerful.
That's what I'm saying. We're a nation of poets. Like, we don't think about like money or like, you know, when it comes to our poetry. Like, Somali people love expressing themselves in the form of poets. So, no, that's amazing. So, how did what was the importance of social media in terms of your art then?
I would say it helped me gain an audience for sure. I didn't think you would reach that at all, and even just like getting messages from people, because they would see my poems on my page and they'd be like, yo, like, is there a book, you know? And I'm like, no, there isn't. Actually, I didn't think it would be coming at that point. Like, when I started getting these messages, like I would say like the beginning of last year, and I'm like, no, but you could refer back to my page and just read it, whichever one you need at whatever moment, you know. But at some point I was like, why not? You know? And I feel like compiling the book and actualizing it to become a book there's a lot of fear involved. I didn't think I would really reach that point. I felt like essentially imposter syndrome. That's what it was. And I just remember saying to myself, like, for so many years, I feel like fear drove me, you know, throughout my life. And I want love to drive me now, not fear. And this is something that I love,
This is so
you know?
amazing.
And somebody, if it's just one person, they might love it too. So let's share it.
We love it.
Since we're in the topic of fear, so how did you overcome the fear of...
Overcome?
Yeah.
I feel like I still have not completely. It's still there, but it's like I weigh it out. Like, okay, do I want fear to drive me or love?
I'm guessing love is winning now.
Right? It's like, and love is more powerful than fear, always. So that's my anchor currently. Fear does linger in time and time again. Even yesterday, like, I was talking to one of my friends. I was like, should I have done this? Like, you know, at the end of the day, I know that I should have, and I did, alhamdulillah, but it sneaks in sometimes. But at the end of the day, I want love to drive me, you know.
I hope everyone is
I
watching
love
this
that,
is love. Not love is
I'm
about
like,
to drive
love.
me. Love.
That's literally me right now. I'm like,
Yo,
love.
I want love today, please.
I'm like, for real.
That's what I'm using at work tomorrow.
Listen, just give me love.
Yeah, just give me love, please.
How
no
long
negativity.
did it take you to write this book? And are these poems that you've been writing throughout the years, or is this something that you dedicated towards this publication?
Actually, some of these poems I wrote like in 2016.
Okay.
So it's like maybe, what is it, 2022?
We're in
That's like,
2022.
I
I know,
That's like,
right?
what, 6 years?
Love is
Yeah.
over driving you today.
So it's like 6 years of work, and essentially a lot of these poems kind of had the same theme of following like spirituality, faith, struggling with faith, which is why I put them all in this section. I do have some poems that are a little bit different than that, but you know, inshallah, if I have another book.
I just want to know the title of the book. So
This book?
how did you come up with the love letter to him?
Love Letters to Him. You know, this wasn't my original title, actually. The first one, and this is like last year when people started kind of giving, you know, like when I started getting little pictures, like, you should do a book. And I was like, oh, okay. It was Redemption.
Dang, Redemption.
Redemption.
It's powerful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. One thing I do every year is I have a word for myself. last year's word was, or maybe it was a word, maybe it's a sentence, but it had a lot to do with redemption. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. But essentially, some of the poems kind of follow that
theme.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's my train of thought.
No,
but
I was about to say love.
no, it feels the theme. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of the poems were following that theme from last year, which is why I thought, redemption might be a good title. But, I kept writing, and then, the start of this year, it's like, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. And I was just writing down a bunch of titles, and I was like, one thing that these poems show is love, like love for God and faith and spirituality. And I thought, you know what? Love letters to, him, meaning God. I know a lot of my friends saw this.
I was about to say him.
No, literally.
You want to tell us?
Yeah, a lot of my friends saw the title and they're like, so who broke your heart? Like, who is this about? And I was like, you guys know I've never had my heart broken. But yeah, no, this.
Oh, but if you do, I know you're gonna go in with.
Oh, I will go in. It'll be ruthless.
I never wish for anyone to get their heart broken, but like every artist, I'm like, get your heart broken, because you're gonna come up with some songs, some
like
poems.
The best content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Summer Walker, she comes out with her best hits after the heartbreak.
I love Insane.
I'm not promoting toxicity,
but that's the thing, though. I like the title because now everyone is like curious. Okay, so what is the book about?
Yeah.
So it's a good title. I'm glad
Love letters to him.
You kind of threw the redemption. Well, it's a good title, redemption, but it's a catchy.
It's super powerful. Yeah. I really love it. So what is your favorite poem? I'm going to ask that. Yeah, and I'm going to make you recite it.
Oh, I'm not going to lie, they're all my favorite.
But that's what I agree.
Right, everybody says
every
that.
artist is like, they're all my favorite.
Like, how would you say that? But truly, right now I could say, because it resonates with me now and where I'm at. Okay. You guys ready?
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
I thought she was going to pick a short one, but...
We're ready.
I like to remind myself that healing is not linear. Some days are like a mother's warm smile, and others feel like somehow my body has forgotten how to function. But with time and my Lord's assistance, I know that God willing, it will get better.
I love that. I love how...
Read it again.
I love how...
the warm mothers.
Yeah, I love how soft-spoken you are, too. Like, even, like, right now when you're reading the poem, like, you grasp... Because, there's, like, different powers of, like, poetry. For example, my brother Farah, shout out to Farah the poet.
Hey,
you met him. He's so dope, and he just like brings the roof down. If you guys haven't like heard his poetry, like definitely check him out. But that grasped me, and then I also love soft-spoken poetry where like you kind of feel the realms of like peace and like eloquency, and like it's just something that you want to just rest to or kind of resonate with. Like it's very beautiful. And then what I love about this book is a lot of poetry books, when I read it, kind of like how Gilbert said, like we're overwhelmed with a lot of words when you're just like, whoa, there's a lot going on here, but your book is just so easy to read but also relatable to comprehend, which I really love about that. Was there, or how did you figure out how to format this book when you were writing it? Because as poets, I'm sure you had a lot of words and long poetries and all that stuff, but how did you kind of break this piece by piece?
So a lot of the shorter poems in here are from longer pieces that were like probably 3 pages. And I was like, for my first book, I really want them to be short, concise, and sweet.
Thank you.
Like, if I have, inshallah, when I do have my next one, they're going to be more intense. So.
Oh, it's a nice way to warm us up and get us ready.
I was like, let me warm people up,
it's a nice way to warm us up.
So that was, like, my driving factor, as well as, like, my friends helped me, too. Like, I would show them each piece, and I'm like, which one, like, what do you feel? Like, is there, like, a theme when you read these 10 pieces? Or, and I kind of just followed that, honestly.
Wow.
And it just kind of...
I love how she just answered that question so smooth.
So, how often do you write? Is it like based upon your mood? or like, because, I know some artists who are like, every day I have to write something, or is it more like, okay, this is a feeling, or this is a seasonal thing? How often do you find yourself writing?
I would say I find myself writing a lot, but usually it's because of a question. Like, I'm trying to explore something. I'm trying to understand something. Usually that's what it is. And then I start writing. Yeah. It's always different. It could be, like with this book, it's about faith, spirituality, struggling with faith, right? Or it could just be maybe friendships, family, career, anything really. And it's been my outlet,
That's amazing. That's awesome. Well, I am really proud of you. This is absolutely amazing. Tell us about your live poetry, like at events. How was that, or how was like your first event? How were you feeling, and how do you feel now?
Well, with this book, I still have not. Yeah. I will be having one.
Yeah.
But in the past with spoken word, it felt freeing. Like, that's the best word I could describe. It was just very freeing. And seeing that, like, people's faces, and that they could, like, relate to what I'm saying, it was comforting, too.
I like that. Comforting. Yeah. That's awesome.
The relatable part.
Yeah.
I love it. So where do you see yourself, like, going with, like, your poetry? Like, do you want to write more books? Are you trying to be an established, like, author? Or do you want to do more spoken words? Do you want to travel the world with your poetry? I know that's a loaded question.
I know.
Sorry.
But definitely all the above.
Okay, cool.
All the above. I've already kind of started another one low-key. But yeah, and I know I'll never stop writing. So I might as well share it.
Yeah.
Whoever resonates with, and
you're about to be resonating with a lot of people, so
yeah. Yeah.
You're about to.
Yeah, but I see myself writing for a long time.
That's good.
I love that.
That's good. I know, like, off camera, we're also talking about how artistic you are as well, too. So is there a artistic part of the poem coming out soon? The one with pictures?
Yeah, I do paintings. I'm also a painter. So I will be having my own exhibit soon.
You guys heard it here first. So.
But with that exhibit specifically, a lot of the pieces are not like it's
related to the poems, right?
There's probably like one poem I could say that could probably relate to it. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, I love art in all its forms.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
no, we're excited to it. So how can we like keep up with you? Like find out like when you're having exhibits or like spoken words.
Yeah,
how can people find you?
On my Instagram, that's what I use usually. So Aisha
I will
Poetry.
link it here.
Yeah. Or.
But go ahead, tell them. How do you spell it?
Aesha. Everybody gets surprised when I spell my name because they assume it's AI.
Yeah, I thought it was
AI
AI too.
And I was like, no, it's AE. But yeah, poetry. Aisha Poetry.
Aisha Poetry.
So how important has social media been for you since you started Poet?
I don't think I would be where I am today without it.
Oh, shout out honestly. To Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram specifically. Like, I wouldn't. Yeah, Instagram, social media in general is very powerful. Like, if you know how to use it, I feel like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself doing, like, Audible books? Like, you actually, because, like I said, I love hearing you read poetry. So, like, do you think you can narrate your own poets?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah.
I do in the near future.
That's awesome.
You guys heard it here first, so keep a lookout for that.
I love how you keep throwing that.
Speaking of existence.
That's awesome. So what piece of, like, advice do you have to, like, young women or just young artists in general who are struggling to find ways to express themselves in poetry? What piece of advice would you have for them to put themselves out there to move forward with maybe writing a book like you or spoken or whatever the case is?
I would say just don't think too much into it. Just do it. Just do it. Start somewhere.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, like if you love to write, then write. And share it if you want to, You should be proud of it because that's yours. And you were sincere about it for a reason, And other people deserve to experience that too, Just start, honestly. I feel like that's the only thing that's been keeping me going, just starting. Because if I sit down and just be in my head, I wouldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
So it was just like, just do it. And there's so many resources, you know. If you are interested in trying to, you know, make your own book or just publish your own book, just shoot me a message. I would be willing to help. Yeah, because I really didn't have that.
Shout out to not gatekeeping, for real.
I had to do a lot of research. Alhamdulillah, like I found something, but it was difficult, and I'd rather make that easy. For people that are
write my own book.
Yeah, and I can help you for sure. He spit like a lion.
First of all, he's capping. But
What? Aisha, come on.
Do you remember the line he spit?
Yes, I told her that.
A rap bar or
no?
what?
It was just poetic. It was very poetic.
I told her that she's like the diamond now, and all her friends
There's something before that.
have to keep polishing her.
Oh.
So now everyone has to polish
Gilbert's
her
a
craft.
poet now. I love it.
He's a poet. He's a natural born
Practice.
poet.
Practice. It's a love. It's a love in the room. It's just a love in the room.
I love love.
I love it. Can you do poetry in Somali?
I haven't written yet. I'm still trying to learn like certain grammar rules that Somali has. I am a little bit better in Arabic.
Yeah.
But that's one of my goals is to actually have a piece where it's like Somali and English. You know.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, well, I'm in awe. I really love the concept. I haven't like read obviously all of it, but I always check your content out. And I think my brother was like one of the first people to tell me like you need to check out like Aisha poetry.
Shout
like
out
she's
to him.
dope. Yeah. So and then ever since I've just been in awe and like your aura, your art, just everything about you is super dope. So
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, I really look forward to reading the rest of this.
I can't wait till you guys do.
Yeah, seeing you at more events. So please, if there's anything, I mean, first of all, you know, follow her. But if there's any events that you have, like, we'd love to be a part of it. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other advice you want to give any young kids out there that want to be poets?
Go for it, honestly.
Yeah.
That's the best advice. Just start. Don't let fear drive you. Let love drive you. Just start. Yeah.
Amen to
You got to
that.
start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
You going to have a lunch party or book lunch?
I will, actually. That's something it's in the works currently. So I will
You guys
be
heard it
posting.
here first. We'll talk about it off camera.
But yes, I will be posting details on my Instagram
That's
for sure.
good.
So follow her, y'all. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
You did amazing. You shared so much with us. And check out Love Letters to Him. Where can we get the book?
Amazon. And the link is in my bio. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Amazon.com. Definitely
or
check
you
it out.
Just search Love Letters to Him on Amazon.
Yeah.
I love the title, Love Letter to Him.
Yeah.
Love
I want to
Letters to
hear what everyone thinks about it. I want to hear what their favorite poem is. And yeah, message Aisha. She's amazing. She'll definitely get back to you. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
I appreciate it. We're going to have her sign our Hall of Fame sweater.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
And then get some pictures. So thanks for watching the episode. I feel like we needed candles in here or something.
I know, right? It was
like,
so
like
calming.
certain ambiance.
the ambiance.
Yes.
So
Loved
calming.
it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye, guys.